Are you still curious and confused about the guidelines for intermediaries and digital media ethics code as of 2021? Why were these amendments made, and what is the new whole fuss about? Why is everyone talking about the new law, and is WhatsApp finally going to be banned? I'm Tanmay Parthi, and today here we are talking about the Internet IT Act 2021, or Guidelines for Intermediaries and Digital Media Ethics Code as of 2021. Well, starting with a very basic note on what actually is an intermediary. Just as the name suggests, it is an intermediary body that connects two different portals. It connects you to your internet, it connects you to another friend, and that's the thing you're using as an intermediary. For example, all of our social media apps that we post content on are intermediary. For example, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And a very simple example is when you chat with your friends on WhatsApp, it becomes an intermediary between you and your friends and your internet. Now, the government has imposed a set of guidelines on these intermediaries, and only if they follow these guidelines can they function in a country now. Well, as a matter of fact, you might be wondering, is it something that the government can even do? So, yes, definitely. Government under the IT Act 2000 can govern these platforms. Not just this, but this is not something that's come up new. There were already a set of guidelines and rules that were already there. Already basic rules were there. It's just now that it's been replaced with new amendments. Let us try to understand the notification. At the most basic, it is divided into three parts. Number one, preliminary. Number two, due diligence by intermediaries and grievance redressal mechanism. Number three, code of ethics in relation to digital media. These rules seek to provide compliance of law and grievance redressal mechanism for users of social media platform, messaging applications, streaming services, has now also led to new publishers of digital media that includes blogs, online news portals as well. This is going to help apparently the government in controlling hate speech, which gets brought on these platforms and threatens national security. However, critics pointed that the question of stricter regulations of digital media will lead to restriction of free speech, and it is going to hamper our democracy. And that's pretty much obvious because basic regulations are still fine and they were there for years now. And they're really, really passive, like content classification into age groups. You have to put your content in different groups of A, UA 7 plus 13, 7 plus 13 plus 18, plus rating for adult movies A brought into controls have been added. But a very broad term called public order is added as well, along literally every single line on the notification. And also, in the code of ethics, it's included that the content that violates these public order or violates the sovereignty and integrity of India will be taken away. Content that threatens the security of the state, content that determinates relations between two other countries, content which includes violence, goes against public order. Public order, to be honest, let's just be honest, can be anything. I can post a picture and that can go against public order because public order is a very broad term that does not really have a solid definition. Now let's talk about things that are quite dangerous to your privacy. Number one, data retention for any platform is extended to 6 months. So even if you delete your account, your data will be stored with an intermediary. And it's not really safe because in our country, there's no data protection law that's going to preserve you and save you or your data. Hence, your mobile phones, your own data, your IP addresses are not safe. Number two, it includes text traceability, which means the origin of content will be held responsible. Hence, your mobile number or your IP address is not safe, and that can totally cause you in trouble. Apps like WhatsApp and Signal are end to end encrypted, which keeps your mobile number and content safe. But in case of privacy policy changes, there's a problem. While we also have solutions, what can we do to keep our own data safe on our own? Number one, let's access VPN. VPN doesn't allow people to trace your location. It uses multiple locations, which makes it difficult to trace your IP location. What you can do is, on apps like WhatsApp and Telegram and Signal, use your mobile number as your source of identity. If you still want to continue using these apps, even if there are changes made that can harm your privacy, you can switch to a different international number. International numbers that are brought online and are meant for these purposes only. Your IP address and your mobile phone is the only safe source of your identity which is needed to be preserved. In my opinion, to be honest, these guidelines, even though there is a good side that it's going to stop hate speech and everything, the cons are a little too big. It's going to hamper your privacy. It's going to clearly affect freedom of speech, and that is not acceptable, because every human has the right of privacy in our country. So, till then, stay safe, stay inside, stay protected, and let's wait and watch to see what happens, because a lot of these intermediaries are now reverting back to the government with suing the government, lawsuits, clash courses, etc. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens, and you're going to get all the other information right here. So don't go anywhere, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. This is Tanmay Bharti.